Hi, and thank you so much for clicking play. Some more great news coming out of the African continent. Today, I'm going to be discussing the second youngest leader globally. I think the first is the lady from Iceland, the president of Iceland. The second is the interim leader of Burkina Faso, IBRAHIM Traoré. Let me tell you something about this young man. He's only 2 years older than I am. He was born in 87. I was born in 89. He took over Burkina Faso after a successful military coup which he led in 2022. He said enough is enough. Burkina Faso, one of the richest countries globally when it comes to resources and minerals, has been exploited. Same old story. Exploited by the West for decades now, making it one of the poorest nations as far as their economy goes. The people there, nothing ever trickles down to them. They live under the poverty, the international poverty line. That has been the story of their lives. It is a place that has war, back-to-back war, created mostly by Western powers. You know the old dirty tricks of divide and rule. The French have been telling Benin and other neighboring countries how much Burkina Faso is the enemy, and then they go to Burkina Faso and tell them how much Benin is the enemy. These are old tricks that they have done throughout the decades all over the African continent. It's an old story, same script, different cast. When this young, strong military leader took over Burkina Faso with his forces, and before I even say anything else, before I even get into the meat and potatoes of what is actually going on in Burkina Faso, can we just appreciate the anatomy of this African man? I mean, look at Traoré! Look at the build of this man. Look at how healthy his skin is. Look at his body. Look at an African man when he knows himself and he knows what he wants. Look at him here when he was meeting Putin. Look at the build of our Simba. Look at Simba. Traoré, look at him. Look at IBRAHIM Traoré. There's a reason why they try to keep the African man down. There's a reason why the African man to date is not allowed to rise past a certain level. There's a reason why an African man threatens them like crazy. You just have to look at this guy. I mean, I am crashing on him from here to Burkina Faso and back. Shout out to IBRAHIM Traoré. God bless you, young man. IBRAHIM Traoré said, look here, Burkina Faso is the 4th largest producer of gold on the African continent, the 15th largest producer of gold, yet it is one of the poorest countries in the world. The math is not mathing. None of this makes sense. I mean, why? You know, I am just happy that African leaders and even some Western leaders are starting to ask basic common sense questions. How is it that some of these nations in Africa have the most minerals, have the most resources, yet they've been suffering, they've been ongoing senseless wars, mostly, like I mentioned at the top of this video, instigated by the West? What interest does France still have on our continent? What do they want? What are they doing there? Why do they have military bases there? Why? What are they still doing on the African continent? I mean, you don't need a lot of brain cells. Just rub 2 together or 4 brain cells and you will see that these guys are just still looting to date. There's still no real independence of a lot of African states because they still have their puppet leaders there. And when people like IBRAHIM Traoré stand up and Putin says, hey, it's about time you people kicked out these Westerners from your nations. Now, a lot of people are watching and going like, oh, but you know, Putin, Russia and China are only doing that so they can benefit themselves. So listen, we as Africans, we are big and grown enough to decide who we trade with, okay? If you've been showing us disrespect for centuries, if you've been harming us for centuries, you don't get the moral authority to now tell us who to make friends with and who not to make friends with. I think we have learned enough from the past, so give us a damn break. Yeah, give us a damn break. Mind your own business for once. Like, can these people finally mind their own business? The Western powers, can you finally mind your own business? They know that without Africa, they wouldn't be some of the richest nations on earth. They know it. And this is why they are trying all they can to still maintain that authority, that master-slave mentality that they have. They want to maintain it because they know that we are the food basket of Europe. They know that we've been feeding them for centuries and decades. And now we are asking to be fed as well. We can't keep on giving and denying ourselves forever. And that is threatening the heck out of them. Leaders such as IBRAHIM TRAORÈ, new generation standing up to the West, is a shock to them. Just yesterday, I shared with you a video of Paul Kagame asking the Belgians to, hey, my friends, no diplomatic ties, go back, go home. Because now Belgium is trying to employ the same old tactics because they know this is the DRC conflict. They want to see how they can make Rwanda be involved in this war. And when Rwanda says, hey, we have nothing to do with that, they want Rwanda sanctioned, because how else will they loot? These people can only do their evil when there's chaos, when there's peace and stability. And men are looking like a whole snack, like IBRAHIM TRAORÈ. A black man is showing confidence in himself, in his leadership. People are believing in him. They know they cannot loot because people are awake. People are not going to accept that. And now they are panicking. And that is why leaders such as Paul Kagame are going like, no, there's been enough bloodshed. I think you people need to finally go home. Look at us, a lot of us Africans on the European continent, asking these people for jobs, asking these people for, there's a lot of refugees on the European continent, like, hey, can you at least house us? We want bare minimum. When in reality, our continent is so much richer than their continent could ever be, only that we've been exploited for decades. It is ridiculous that our people still keep on sailing to Europe. They are in the Mediterranean Sea, sinking to the very bottom while trying to just survive, when in reality, the places where they are coming to beg stole all their wealth. Like, the places where they are coming to beg could never even be richer than where they come from. It's mind-blowing stuff. If you think about it, I am just like, thank you, God. Thank you so much, Jesus Christ, that people are just waking up. The great lie is being exposed. Now, there's a lot of Western leaders, especially in right-wing parties, who are supporting the waking up of Africans, because we know that this has always been a left-leaning globalist agenda to keep on exploiting the African people in the name of aid, in the name of organizations that are giving us charity. And there's a lot of right-wing leaders who are telling us, Africa, rise up, say no to this manipulation, and they're getting silenced every single day. You know that there was an Italian leader who was saying out loud, sanction France. Why is France still printing money for African nations? You know that he was punished heavily. I talked about him on one of my previous videos. And these people are being silenced. We see it happening. But even with our little voices, we will continue saying enough, okay? Enough. And congratulations, I salute IBRAHIM TRAORÈ. TRAORÈ, IBRAHIM Bey. TRAORÈ Bey. Bey. You are making us very proud. You handsome man. You confident young man who is saying, enough. So TRAORÈ nationalized 2 huge gold mines. He was like, this is going to serve home first. He stopped the exportation of unrefined gold to Europe. He said, before we export anything, let us revise the contracts, because we know that they've been buying it for nothing and then selling it back to us for prices that we cannot afford, and that is how they keep us under their thumb. And he was like, no, first of all, we are nationalizing 2 of our biggest gold mines, and we are not exporting unrefined gold to Europe. Let us start there. And they are panicking. They are like, oh no, Africans are starting to ask questions. Oh no. And you know, in Swahili, we have a saying, mchinga akierevuka mwerevu yu matatani. It means when the dumb one, when the stupid one, the one you've been looking down on, finally starts to ask questions and finally starts to gain a little knowledge, the one who was always intelligent, the one who was always knowledgeable, begins to panic because he is in trouble. Mwerevu yu matatani. Yuko kwa shida. He's now in trouble because now they are looking for what war can we start to distract these people. But Trump is not letting that happen. This is why they try to take out Donald J. Trump, amongst many other reasons. Any right-wing leader who says, hey, Africans can govern themselves, okay, we can solve our own problems. We don't need your aid, your charity, your nonsense. We don't need you to come there as wolves in sheep clothing. We know you. We know how you move. We know how you move, you snakes. We know how you move, you greedy people who've always come from a place of scarcity and not abundance. And the only way you can have abundance is through killing and stealing and destroying. We know how you move when certain leaders in the West, who are mostly conservative leaders, start to support some of our new leaders and telling them, do not allow the left and their global agenda to keep on exploiting you. You start to panic and start to think, how can we start bloodshed? You did it in Somalia. You did it in Western countries of Africa. You did it in the Central of Africa. You've been doing this for centuries. Think about DRC. DRC has not known peace for a very long time. Even though Kingdom of Congo, which was there since the 13th century, was flourishing. But ever since the white man stepped foot on African soil and noticed that Congo was very rich in minerals, they've not known peace. The truth is coming out. Congo has been in back to back wars. And then they appeal, the leaders of the Western world, they appeal to the Westerners by telling them, oh, no, these are just rebel fighters who are engaging child soldiers. And when in reality, they are the ones who fund behind the scenes. They're so effing evil. They fund rebel leaders to engage child soldiers, send their corrupt media to take pictures and videos in order to entice the poor Westerners who don't have a full picture of what is happening in Africa, what is happening on our continent, to entice them to keep on giving money to, quote unquote, bring peace to that region, bring civilization to that region, when we were doing just fine without you guys. And then the Westerner, the grandmas who are sitting here on their pensions, the people who feel like, you know, we are privileged, at least we have food, we have good jobs, we've not had it as tough as these people in recent years. After the war, we were able to rebuild very quickly. They feel like, oh, I have to support this organization that takes food and clothing and shelter to the African children. You are being manipulated. Africa does not need Europe. Africa does not need aid from Europe. It is the other way around. Your governments have been brainwashing you, duping you, manipulating you, exploiting you. And that is why when people are waking up, your governments are panicking. They are like, shoot this leader, assassinate him, take him out. Any leader who is talking the truth, take him out. They are panicking all over the place. When TRAORÈ asked, we can produce 150 tons of gold annually for our people, they were like, what do we do now? What do we do now? Sending more convoys, putting more military bases there. What are military bases doing in Burkina Faso and other parts of Africa? What are you doing there? What is your interest there? What do we have to do with one another? These are just the spy agencies that you send to keep on meddling in our politics. You look for other greedy people like you, African leaders who are greedy and who are just traitors to their people. And then you put them on the throne, you make them presidents so you can continue using them to loot us. And we are seeing through the facade. Congratulations to Ibrahim Traoré for the decisions that he's making lately. Congratulations. And to you Westerners who are saying, no, but then you people are in talks with people like Putin who are going to colonize you next. Mind your own business. Leave the problems of Africa to the African people. Who made Westerners the police of the world? I mean, who made American administration, UK administration, France administration with the help of other countries such as Germany? Who made you the police of the world? Who told you that you need to be policing the world? Enough is enough. And I want to end this video by saying kudos to Ibrahim Traoré, Traoré Bey, and leaders such as him who are standing up to the Western world. It is about time that Africa woke up and started real self-rule. I am a Kenyan. Even in Kenya, we are seeing what is happening with the new generation, with Gen Z, the new generation. They're like, IMF who? International Monetary Fund for who? For what? They are questioning, why are these people still meddling in our finances? Like, the new generation is starting to stand up and ask questions. They are like, what deal again? Can we review that contract? Why are they getting contracted to come to our nations? To do what? Do we not have enough educated people, able-bodied young men who can do the same? I am so proud to see it happening. Africa, keep rising in the name of God. Together we stand, divided we shall fall. We need to be together. That saying, united we stand, divided we shall fall, is very true. This is the time that Africa comes together and speaks with one voice. Because they have played those dirty tricks of divide and rule for too long now. I am so happy to see it. Thank you so much for watching. If there's anything you agree with, anything you saw or heard that you like, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Ciao!